We can all be caught sharing funny cat videos or memes to our friends, or maybe even filming videos with them. Social media can connect us all, but maybe that connection leaves us plugged in, affecting all of our lives. From these students at Eagle High School to adolescents all over America, they can be seen scrolling endlessly, wasting time and possibly causing some mental health issues. Dr. Meter, an expert in family life, explains the social footprint left on adolescents.
In groups that kind of define adolescents while they grow up, like school, friends, parents, family.
Mm-hmm.
And would you say that social media is a very influential group? Could it be considered its own class?
That's a cool question. Okay, so to back up a little bit, these groupings, it's a theory that's used a lot in human development, family studies, and psychology, and it is called Bronfenbrenner's bioecological model. It goes by a couple of different names, but what it means is that each person is situated within these spheres of influence, and those spheres of influence interact with each other. So it could be a person interacting with their family, but it could also be the person who's part of, a community organization. And then there's like political factors in the community, or things like, neighborhood safety or SES, and these things all matter together. So it's a really good question to say, is social media one of these spheres of influence? And I think that it's kind of like it's a mushy one, because in some ways it is a distinct context, and there are social norms and that make it a unique developmental context, in that on social media people tend to be a little more honest than they are in person. Sometimes people will hide behind their names and post things that they wouldn't probably do in real life. So there's some behavior that happens in social media that wouldn't necessarily happen in real life. So I think that that's kind of what makes it different. But at the same time, especially among young people, most of the people that they're interacting with in digital spaces are the same people they interact with in their real lives. So I think I mentioned this earlier, that it's not like there's, the online bubble and the in-person bubble. It's usually the same. It's usually overlapping. So I still think it's that peer group. It's just that rather than that group only exist in person, it now exists in different spaces. And the rules might change depending on where you're interacting.
So like a connection between the two, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Social media companies have invented a very lucrative system, which includes addicting algorithms to increase interaction with the platform. These algorithms are so addicting that students, such as these, will even use their phones during class. This increased use can negatively impact their mental health. This can deteriorate the thought process of teens and may lead to disorders such as body dysmorphia. Many solutions are out there. The question is, if the possible solution lies with social media companies or with government legislation.
Play a hand in worsening situations like that, or do you think it was just a perchance?
I mean, that's not my expertise, but I absolutely assume so. And that's one of those things where, the government is trying to regulate what companies can show people because of the addictive nature and the fact that you just scroll forever and it never stops, and you just keep getting the same images and content. So yeah, I do think that is a problem, and if I don't know that they're willing to do anything about it, because that's sort of how they get their people to get hooked and keep.
Another factor to consider in helping mitigate this problem is the involvement of proactive parents in their kids' social media habits. We asked Dr. Meter her opinion on the effect parents can have regarding their online behavior.
The way to go about it. Also because kids don't always get the right messages from their parents, and we know that the body size, that's one of those things that for a lot of people, the negative body comments actually come from parents. And so, that can be problematic in and of itself. But if there's this peer group that's really important to youth, and they are, openly accepting of a variety of body sizes, I think that could be helpful.
Dr. Diana Meter, along with several other professionals, they believe that parents are part of the problem when it comes to social media use. During our research, we thought that parents might be part of the solution, and there might be a negative and positive impacts that the parents bring to the table. And we believe that this parent-child relationship is one of the most important. So we set to find out here on campus how parents have impacted other students' lives. It is important to recognize the problems that exist with social media use. It may even lead to a state of despair. But solutions exist. From government intervention to policy changes made by social media platforms, changes can be made to better the health of our adolescents. And while these are great solutions, they can only be implemented when American parents take a stand for the mental health of their adolescents. Mental health affects us all. Do not be afraid to seek help, and stand for those who need help.